out of things, and if you're thrown in the deep end, you don't really know. Old head. Clinical. What has happened over here is that I'm going to give you a wrap up of the first 10 days. And essentially, every time I've encountered something new, like how to order ECGs, X-rays, how to deal with the nurses, and this is a complex myriad of things. And if you're thrown in the deep end, you don't really know. For example, like initially I thought I have to do all the bloods and the ECGs myself, but then I figured out the nurses are more than willing to do it. But when it comes to pediatric cases, the nurses are not keen to do it at all for you. So those are things that you sort of learn along the way in the job. For the tips for you, so if you're starting a new job and you want to get your feet in the door, some of the things you need to know are really essential. Number one, do an ECG and an X-ray on everyone pretty much you get. Like, they don't really care. That's a fundamental thing you do. Bloods also, mainly about 90% of the cases I see, we do the FBE, which is the full blood examination, of FBC, full blood count, and the UCE. Everybody pretty much gets that. The other interesting thing in Australia is that anybody pretty much who's coming in with a head strike confusion gets a CT scan. So I think they overprescribe it, but that's also something that that's pretty fairly common in Australia. Other than that, I think the things you need to grasp hold of is a basic understanding of chest pain. So have a look at the chest pain pathway. Stroke is fairly common if you're working in rural communities. A lot of people with stroke will come up. Drug abuse, that's so common over here. Every day I'm getting a drug abuse. Loss of consciousness and seizures in children is also very common and frequent. So make sure you have a bit of a grasp of that as well. So yeah, I think if you can have an understanding of those conditions, then things become fairly easy. In terms of surgical cases, you get a lot of falls, and if it's a fall, if it's a head strike, do a CT. Make sure you've got your X-ray done. If you need a pan scan, do that. Make sure you put an early referral in. Tell the consultant what your plan is and what you're thinking. So, things along those lines, and that will help you. The other fairly common thing is appendicitis, cholecystitis, and renal colic. So make sure you've got a bit of an understanding and a grasp of that as well. All right. So that's a bit of a wrap up from me of the first 10 days in the job. And I will get back to you after another week and tell you a bit more about the cases and give a bit more of the detail. I got to go to work right now, so I think I'm lost a little bit, but yeah, I'll try to figure out where exactly I am and try to get to work as soon as possible. All right, guys, bye. I actually went to the wrong place. I'm actually going to a bit of a seminar along the way, which is basically in one of these buildings, but I got to the wrong building. The seminar is on medical legal issues, so those are quite important as well in Australia. So let's see how things work out. Here in this building somewhere, let's find out. So she said don't go in the first door, go in the second door. So I'm gonna go in the second door and see where things end up. I think I'm walking in the right direction. I'm a little bit late. Alright guys, I'll cut out over here. I think I've reached where I had to.